Okay, video's uploaded, everything's charged. Let's get started with turn 20. Somebody did make a comment that reminded me of a rule that we really haven't used, although it exists. And that rule is with these tokens here. If you take an artillery position, the artillery is permanently destroyed. So if the Japanese were ever to retake a position, so for example, I think there's one here. So see that position there? If the Japanese ever did retake it, it would still not count as an artillery. So that is forever there, and that light artillery can never exist again. But the rules don't say anything about how the Japanese, I mean, it's a normal space outside of that. I mean, they can take it and they can still shoot from it. They can still do all kinds of stuff. It's just that they can't use it as an artillery. So if we ever draw that artillery card and it says you need to have 5 artillery or whatever, you're not necessarily going to get it. So we don't have any landing phase, so we just jump straight into the event. And our event is take a naval fire marker. I think this might be our first one of the game. So we do have a naval fire marker. I'll just lay it there for now. That can be used obviously as part of our attacks to get rid of those pesky naval depth markers. Do we have one? We don't know what that one says. So it could be used for that, or we can just use it to destroy a depth marker, period. We can just bomb the crap out of something. But it's just like barrage. You can't bomb something that is not yet revealed. So we do have that issue. But for example, I can pick on this tank and remove his depth marker, and that makes that tank a lot easier to take out. So a couple of things there. All right, now the Japanese get to go. And we have a gold, single gold. The tank symbol means he's going to do nothing more than attack, so we don't have to worry about the empty gold spaces. And I'm looking around the board and there's none anywhere, so we're fine. Then there's a double purple. This is a single purple right there. So that one doesn't do anything. Looking. There's a double purple up there, but it is occupied. I mean, it's not a double purple, but I mean, there's a purple, but it's occupied. The purple has the A action. And see, and there's another one here. See, that one has an A action, but it's a single, not a double. So, so nothing is going to happen there. Oh, I left my rule book. 1 second. So one thing that always gets confusing are these position groups. So it says that the position group is considered one single group, meaning if I had 2 markers here connected by the tunnel, that would satisfy the double requirement. But it also says that if it's empty, you could possibly do an empty action, which if it's an inland position, an empty spot gets to do an ambush. So this is where it gets really tricky. Is it empty or is it not empty? And so this position group, they fire as one group. So all of these purple spots, doesn't matter which location the guy's in, he fires all of the purple spots. If there were 2 guys there, they would both get to fire as part of a satisfying the double requirement. So I'm assuming, based on that understanding of the rules, that this is not considered empty, because it can't both be empty and at the same time this guy is in all 3 places. Because see all these little fire spots, the assumption that the rule book tells you is that since this tunnel exists, this one guy is in all three places, and hence the reason it doesn't matter where the bubble is or the fire zone is. That's how you have to view the game. So for that reason, I am not calling it empty. So I will not do the ambush action for that. And maybe I'm wrong, but it would really frustrate me if the rules actually contradicted each other like that. So I don't think they do. I think the empty rule is meant to exist if all three of those were empty, or if there was none there at all. Okay, and then the last one is a blue R. So we do have a few blues. This one's really far away, so we don't do anything with that, because the R for that one, he's a coastal R, would do a redeploy, but that's only if, that one actually is going to do a redeploy. Move to an unoccupied position hex within 3 hexes and closer to a U.S. unit. Then if U.S. units are in the field of fire, fire. So it can move to here, which is only 2 spaces away. So this guy is going to move over like that. That's a redeploy. That's what the R does for blue. And maybe I missed that in the past, but I think that one's only possible because we're finally there. But the other one that's in blue is this tank. So the tank action for an R is called an overrun. So it's going to fire, and then it's going to overrun whatever it fires at. So the symbol is a triangle, and see, this one's safe. That one, remember, they shoot one beyond their normal. So this one's safe, this is safe, that's safe, this is not safe. So this engineer takes a hit. And then the overrun is he's actually going to he moves to that space and conducts close combat. Crazy enough, I know, but that's what they do. And I'm just trying to find the close combat procedure. So we get a card because it's an engineer. Here, let me back this up. We get a card because we have an engineer with 1 step, but we have a flamethrower, so we get a second card. And then they get a card because they're attacking. They get 2 cards because it's a tank with a depth. They get we have to actually reveal the depth marker, which that's a bonus. So here you can see it's an artillery depth marker. So he does have a strength of 4. So he's getting another card for that. Oops, I wasn't supposed to peek at it. And then he gets another card because he's a tank. So he's got a whole bunch of cards. All right, so he's not disrupted. He goes first. The color is blue. So there's a reinforce, but nothing's going to happen. We could withdraw. It's probably not the stupidest thing in the world to do, but we're disrupted. So we have to just remove our disrupted marker. So not much else can happen. So then he's going again, and there's the blue, and we are actually destroyed. So we have no steps left, and we would lose a card, which wouldn't have hit anyways, and we wouldn't have hit anyways. So it was all just a waste. But now here's what's crazy about this. This is the first time this has happened in the game. The tank is no longer on a blue spot. It's here. So this is considered a red. So if I draw a red fire card, that tank would fire for any red action. And he doesn't have a fire zone anymore. So I may have to look up the rules for that, but he's no longer in an actual location. So I think what he'll try to do is get to one, but yeah, we have a tank that's sitting there now. Okay, moving on. This needs MG and then a flamethrower. So he just killed the engineer who had the flamethrower ability. So that part hurts, but we'll see. We have to draw another event card. And it says the Japanese tank unit conducts the fire or advance action, and it's the red one. So that is the one that that is still alive. So that's awful luck on our part. So now I gotta look up what happens to that tank when he's not... I think he just shoots one space around him, but I need to make sure. Okay, so we know that he projects a field of fire 1 beyond the position that he's in. So that part's true, and we've been doing that the whole game. But the bigger issue is he's not in a position. The tank unit may move into a non-position hex when performing this action. We're talking about the overrun, which is exactly what just happened. If it does so, use the position color printed on the tank's counter to resolve the close combat. Ooh, so we weren't supposed to use blue, we were supposed to use red. That's okay. If the tank unit survives the close combat, move the unit to the nearest occupied position. This could be the position from which the tank came. If unoccupied positions are equidistant, choose the closest to a US unit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's 2 of them. They're 2 apart, and it's going to move to the one that's closest to a US unit, which is this one. So he's going to fire according to that thing, and we have a triangle. So he does fire to this triangle, and I think it's a hit. I was just there, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a steady field of fire. So he actually hits this unit and does reduce it by a step. And that's, he also hits this tank, but he doesn't, I don't think tanks can hit tanks like that. Or maybe tanks always hit tanks. Yeah, I don't think it hits armor. Unless you got the special symbol, armor symbol that goes with it. And we don't. So, anyways, that event sucked, is what I'm trying to say. And we move on to our turn. Well, first it's the engineer turn. So our headquarters is still at 3 range. We have a headquarters here that cannot flip because purple is still active. So I can't flip that one. And then we do get 3 of the engineering markers. And off we go. All right, so there's a lot going on. I think we survived a lot of potential disasters, even though they still hurt us quite a bit. This tank here is one of those kind of situations where the artillery can take out that, but I don't think I'm in a position to attack it. My flanking can occur with these 2, so we can meet the flank requirement to destroy this, but he's disrupted, so it's not a priority. We do have a hero here with a pretty badass unit, and that unit does meet the flamethrower requirement. So we can get up and get into the business of this tank. This one also has a flamethrower requirement and is currently disrupted. So we do need to get a lot done as far as flamethrower is concerned. So what I think I'm going to do, And he is disrupted, so we don't have to worry about it per se. So we can actually use these two to barrage these two. This is a coastal one, so I can barrage it, get them both. If I can get them both suppressed, then I can move in to take on that tank. That may not be a bad idea. So let's try it. So we're going to try the artillery barrage on the tank. One of the things we could do is we can attack it with a naval barrage, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do artillery barrage the tank. It's blue, and we drew a blue, which is perfect. So the tank is disrupted. And then this tank is going to barrage this. And I just need a brown or a diamond. And there's the brown. So we had a really good set of barrages there. And now everything here that you see is barraged. So this hero with a free action can move 3 spaces. So we can go, for example, 1, 2, 3 like that, or I got to figure out what I want to do there. I can go 1, 2, 3. I really want to get here, but I can't do that in one move. So how do I want to do this? Yeah, I need to think about that and see how many free actions I have. Obviously, that is a free action. These guys, I have to spend actions if I'm going to do anything with them. So I need to think about that. Because one thing I can do is I can go 1, 2, 3 if I kill him. But I have to spend 2 actions to kill him. And with this guy only having a range of 3, I have to spend actions to do stuff up here. So one of my actions for sure is I'm going to initiate close combat with him. And then the question is, am I also going to initiate close combat with him? That would be 2 of my actions, and therefore I would be in a pickle. I do have more stuff over here as well. So for example, I want to do an action with him because he's not next to an HQ unit. He is, and so is he. But he's not. So I also want to do an action with him. So there's 3 actions already. And that's not even counting these 2. So what I'm tempted to do is use US support for those 2. Then I will only have 1 left for a garrison. But I think I'm okay with that. Because I am garrisoning a lot of spots. So yeah, I have 1 support left. I'm going to wait and see. So let's start with the right, because I tend to like to go from right to left in this game. And we for sure want to take this punk out. This guy is a tank. Oh, I have to have an infantry. I can't do it with the tank. I have to have an infantry. And I can't take him out because I'm not there. Oh, that hurts so bad. All right, so I'm going to move 2. Well, I can only move 1 because that's an intense fire. And then this tank will barrage him. Those are all free actions. So the barrage is a brown, which I didn't pull. And what shape is it? It's a circle, so we got lucky. That we at least had the circle. And yes, we at least disrupted him, so he's not going to hurt us as we're trying to take him out. These other 2 guys are holding on to their spot. They're also quite weak. What I'm thinking of doing is putting the garrison on this one and then doing 1, 2, 3 to there, and I just took that spot. And this artillery is destroyed. So by doing that, I just made some issues with blue there, although Japanese can still spawn in the blue right next to him. If I'm willing to take away an action from somebody, I can put a garrison here, and then this guy could actually move in and take one of these green, but I'm not super enthusiastic about that at the moment. But that is definitely an option. I can't charge in to take green, in fact, because there is one green guy there, and this is connected by a tunnel. So by rule, I have to stop here anyways. So yeah, there's no rush. And the same here. I'm not going to be able to charge into this purple spot. I have to stop there. Unless I can barrage them first. And they are coastal. Both of these guys are coastal. So they could get barraged. All right, so I am going to use the 2 support units to give free actions to these guys. And in doing so, this one is for sure destroyed. Okay, so the unit's out. The unit just needed a flank and a demolition. And he... Oh my gosh, am I missing the demolition now? Oh, I'm missing the demolition. Oh. He needs a demolition now. So he was disrupted. And so what I'm going to do is I'm taking back those 2 support things. I can't attack them. I don't have the demolition. The only thing that has demolition is an infantry unit that's full strength. Or, of course, a hero, which I don't have. But I do have this hero. He's got 4 pips. So if I move him here, he's going to be a concentrated unit. This is where I'm getting quite frustrated. But I guess I will go 1, 2, 3 like so. And then he's still in range of that headquarters, although he gets a free action anyway. So I could move one of these away so he's at least here, and I can't do it at range. If I shoot at range, I lose my demolitions ability. So one of these support units are going to be used to move this tank. I'm going to use it to move this guy to there, and then this guy will move there. So I'm using this to move that guy. All right, this is brutal. Okay, I still have an engineering support, so I could garrison something. So I might as well garrison this blue one that I was talking about up here, because I got to do it eventually so I can move at a later point in time. In fact, I can even move now. I don't know where I would move to. Just thinking. And what I'm thinking about is, now that I garrison this, where can I move this guy? So I think I'll just move him here to make that one miserable. If he ends up needing a flank, I will have it. Okay, coming over to here, we have close combat. I'm calling close combat here. So the Japanese unit's going to get 2 cards. And then we have 4 pips. So we get 4 cards. The Japanese unit is not disrupted. So he goes first, and it's brown. And of course he hits us. That hurts, because that was a full strength unit. So we take a hit, and we lose a card which had brown on it. So we go, and of course there's no brown. he goes, and thankfully there's no brown. And then we go, and there's no brown. And then we go, and there's once again no brown. So the whole freaking action just resulted in a hit on us and nothing on him. All right, so we're both disrupted. And he once again holds that position. And let's keep going. So both of them are disrupted. So now we're going to try to attack here with this 4 strength, and then this one has 6 strength. So we do have 10 strength going here, and then I have to decide right now if I'm going to do the naval gunfire, and my answer is yes, I'm doing naval gunfire. So it's a close combat. So you know what, it was really stupid to do the naval gunfire. I could have just waited for this to be exposed and then did the naval gunfire and just destroyed the depth marker outright. Or yeah, it was just really stupid of me to use that naval gunfire because I can't go any further. He requires close combat, so I'm done. I mean, I'm able to disrupt him, of course, but I don't get to even reveal what's underneath him. So, so brutal, this game. This guy gets to move, and since we know he gets to move, it's a free action, and he is going to move up here because we know we have to close combat that thing. So we will, and underneath here is a tank. I keep forgetting about that. So this is a coastal, so I'm going to try to bombard. Nope. I'm going to use the tank to help this guy attack purple, the inland one. So we're going to reveal, and he needs to be flanked and radio. We do have the radio, we don't have the flank. So we at least disrupted him. But that's all the more we get to do, and then our turn is done. And I don't think anything else can be done at this point. So now we move to turn 21. All right, so no landings, so we just do an event. And you can see flanking fire from infiltrators hits 1 US unit in water hex. There's nobody in the water, so no worry there. So now the Japanese go, and we have a double red. I'm looking, but I don't see any double reds. There's a red there, but it's just a single. This red is empty, but it's not less than 2 spaces. It's not 2 or less spaces away from a US unit. And so red does nothing. Okay, that was helpful. Now we have a single blue. It's with a star. So if it's empty, we don't have to worry about the empty blues. We just have to worry about the blues that are filled with something. And we do have one. It's this tank, but he's disrupted. So his disruption marker just goes away. And then we have a double green. And I think we've been saying the entire game that green doesn't do much. This green is a double green, so his disruption goes away. Otherwise, he would have initiated close combat. So, actually, that's an interesting question. Does he initiate close combat? Because they can initiate close combat while they're disrupted. Let me check that one. Normally, they just remove their situation. So occupied inland position is the requirement. If it has US units in its field of fire, it's going to move the unit and its depth marker and conduct close combat. Units conducting the assault action gain the benefit of any disruption or step loss inflicted on U.S. units by other Japanese units in the phase. Oh. So here's what's tricky. I think a disruption, when he's disrupted, all you do is just remove his disruption marker. I don't think, like if he was disrupted from some other mechanism, I don't even know why I'm thinking about this. I mean, it seems to me like if he was disrupted, he doesn't get to do anything but just remove his disruption marker. That's the whole point of disrupting a unit. That's how it would work in every other situation. So, I'm trying to find the spot where it explains that, because I seem to know that that's the case, but I can't find it. I'm finding the spot where, you know, depth markers get added, communication, Japanese. I guess, you know, there's another spot where Japanese do fire. Oh, undisrupted occupied Japanese positions may potentially fire. Whether these units are revealed or unrevealed, firing does not cause a Japanese unit to become revealed. Here's where it says position groups that have 2 or more component hexes are considered one position and have one field of fire, even if some of the positions in the hex are not occupied. Okay, I think the whole point of disrupting a unit is it doesn't get to take an action. And just because this particular action allows disrupted units to do the action, I'm not going to lose sleep over this. So all he does is lose his disruption marker. He doesn't actually assault anybody. And that's it for green. So now we draw another event. And we get place a hero marker on any US unit. So I think once again we need to get people moving. I'm looking over here because this is like where I need the help. And like, for example, I can give it to this guy and he can get over here and help. But I'm also looking over here because these guys need help too. And like, for example, this guy here would be an awesome one to have a hero. So would this one, right? So, but I'm also thinking, I'm going to put it on this one because he's a 7-2. And let's give him a hero. So, where else can I do one? We have a 6-2, which would be a nice spot for a hero. or this 8-3, and I think this guy is going to get within range soon enough. There's just so many awesome candidates. I think that's the challenge I'm running into. Even this one here would be a great one because he can get out and start helping with this, which is not an easy zone, but I'm also struggling over here. But if I bust through over here, I'm going to bust through big time. So I think I want to put it here because he's going to be in action. I have to spend next turn, and now he's not in action. So that will be helpful. This one, of course, is in action, but I don't have to spend that action. He can just sit there and wait for the ability to move later. Okay, so we're done with that event, and now we move to peanut butter action time. And I'm sorry, no, the U.S. and engineer. So this headquarters is still just a range 3. So it takes a lot of turns to get up to range 5, which is why I'm concerned about my other headquarters not getting his spot situated. So we're going to go over to here, and I am for sure going to attack the crap out of this thing. Am I going to use all 3 units? And the answer is yes, because I think I have to flank. And I need to have all the right bits and pieces. So like this one's weak and doesn't have all the letters. So he also is not a hero. This one is a hero. So you know what? I'm not going to attack with this guy. So I'll attack with these 2. And let's see what we get. And it's a mortar and a bazooka. Well, the tank is a bazooka and not the mortar. So the mortar is the hero. So we got him. That part's done. And so another unit is removed. And by the way, I have 3 garrison markers. And so one of them is just going to plop right there as soon as we take it. Because that's not in anybody's fire zone. So we're good to go. Now this guy can move up and try to, you know, start taking something. And so the million-dollar question is, where do I go? Do I go to this purple? And if I do, I have to stop here because this is an intense fire zone. And that guy's in the purple. So if I draw a purple next turn, that's when I get screwed. And I got to remember this is a green unit, and he's now something I have to factor in. But I'm going to go here to the purple one. And maybe I can use my artillery to try to barrage this and take care of that before, before it becomes our turn. So the barrage might be effective with my artillery. So I got to think about that. And then I'm going to put another garrison here because it's next to my unit, and here to be on my unit. So this unit is now in a fantastic position to move to there, which is not an intense fire zone for gold. So I am definitely garrisoning the crap out of this northern end of the island. Here's what's also crazy. I read in the rules that this last group here, see all those units there on turn 28? They're going to come in from this direction on the beach. So they're going to approach from here. I guess this side of the island is supposed to be a problem. So basically those units that are going to come at the end of the game are going to be worthless because I probably at that point of the game need to move them all the way the blazes down there, which I haven't even bothered with. So, so now I got this mess here. This unit is finally able to destroy this one, who needs to be flanked and demolitioned. So I can flank with this unit if I attack also with that one. That would make a flank. I don't need to attack with these 2. But then that means all this other stuff doesn't get attacked. This one, we don't know what it is. And then, of course, this tank is free to start shooting at people. And so that's also a problem. But there's no other way I can meet the flanking requirement unless I do exactly that. So I am going to do it because this is just such a pain in the butt unit. And so we finally get rid of it. And that is one of my actions. And that action is used by him. Okay, so then the next thing I can do is this guy here is in range and he's going to barrage the other tank. So we need a blue or a diamond. We got a blue, so the enemy tank is redisrupted, which is helpful. And that allows me to breathe a little bit. So with that said, I think my artillery is going to barrage that purple all the way on the other end. So let's see what we get. And I get the diamond, which is lucky because I did not get the purple. So this purple one is disrupted. And actually I could have done that before I moved. So then now I moved all the way in. Because if he's disrupted, I don't have to stop at an intense fire. So that would have been a much smarter order of progression on the turn. So sorry if you're upset that I do things like that. I still have 2 actions left. These guys are both disrupted. All I can do is remove the disrupted marker from my unit there, but I can do a close combat with this guy. So I'm going to spend another action and do it. So now he still gets 2 cards. 2 cards for Japan, and we have 2 pips, so we get 2 cards. His disruption marker goes away to start the turn. So we go first, and we need a brown, and we have a brown, and we killed him. So he is killed, and then a disruption marker goes on our guy right there. Okay, now I get a third action, and the third action is definitely going to be, well, no, he can't help because this is close combat. So the third action will be on this guy here, who's going to just go 1. Well, that's intense fire, so he'll go 1. Ooh, I got to be careful. These are all intense fire zones for that purple. I need to be really careful. So if you look there, purple has intense fire in both of those brown zones. So I would need to barrage it. I do have a tank here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a coastal. So I will barrage, but my tank is a strength 2. So just to refresh ourselves, strength 2 barrage needs to match the color. The symbol alone is not enough. So let's put these together, and let's hope the top one here is purple, and the top one is purple. So I do it. So he is disrupted. So yes, that means my third action will be this guy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blaze right in and take purple. There. So brown could potentially get some Japanese units, but I'm going to go try to take this purple like that. Okay, now moving on, I got another close combat battle with this guy. So we're going to reveal this. That's also a close combat. So he's going to get 1, 2 cards for this, and then 2 more cards for 2 close combat. So he's going to get 4 cards. So this is going to be a tougher battle. 4 cards for Japan. And then we have 5 pips for us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pips for us. And he is not disrupted because he removed his disruption marker, and we're looking for green. And of course he gets a green. So I'm going to go ahead and take the hit with this guy. So he's going to go from a 3 down to a 2. So it's an I3-8. All right, and we lose one of our cards, which wouldn't have hit. So now we get to go, and we don't hit. So he goes, he does not hit. We go, we do not hit. He goes, He does not hit. We go, and we do not hit. He goes, and he hits again. So I'm thinking I'm going to hit the other guy. Nope. I'm going to hit the same guy again. And then we go. I can't believe this. Not only do we not hit, he got a reinforce, but that doesn't matter. This just blows beyond all recognition. We had so many cards, and he hit us twice, and we didn't hit him once. And of course, disruption candy goes everywhere. I would love to have an extra action right now to move him in, because I think I'm going to need him to win that close combat. And this green unit is just being stout. So this guy's going to attack here. We're going to reveal. He needs mortar. We have it. We're double. He's dead. So that's completely destroyed. I do have a lot of issues here where I need to get garrison markers here as well. Or otherwise we're going to get overrun by reinforcements, especially if it's brown. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brown. If I draw a brown reinforcement, I'm screwed. This is a battle that's going to have to wait now. And I think that's all of our actions that we can do. My headquarters, this was an awesome spot, but at a range 3, he still hardly influenced anybody. This one he's influencing, and same with this one, but that one's holding a spot. So I can move this here for 1, 2, 3, and at least get him to there. But it's still, I still am disappointed with the way I managed the headquarters in this game. And this other guy still can't even switch to a command post, and this game's going to end before he ever gets to. This red spot can be attacked by purple still, so I can't flip him in his current position. So I could move him, and like if I put him here, I can flip him, but what good does that do for me? I don't know. I mean, I could move up to here, and that purple is still a problem child. Yeah, I'm going to sit put. And we just ended another turn. So we go to turn 22. There's nobody to land on the beach, so we draw our first event. Expedited arrival. Place all units scheduled to enter on the 28th, and they're assigned. Oh, I am so happy with this. That is awesome. And I know we got lucky twice, but that is awesome. All right, so these guys are going to hit the beach from this other end here. So these are all going to approach from the G. And then I was told they have to wade through. So what I'm going to do is the headquarters is going to go there, and along with an infantry and another infantry. And then these two go there, and that one will go there. The good news is we don't have much to worry about as far as landing. And then one thing that I wanted to point out, I know I made this mistake a couple turns ago when I was wading through the water here, is after turn 11, you get 3 movement points in the water, not 2. So some of you might have been scratching your head, why did you only move 2? Because I was even doing the 1-2 buckle my shoe song. I could have moved 3, and my honest answer is I didn't remember. But I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that that was 100% allowed to be able to move 3 spaces. This guy is going to get stuck because after 3 spaces he will hit the beach here, but then I gotta give him actions to get him anywhere, whereas these guys, I'm going to get them all landed with a headquarters near them. And I could make a command post over here, which is an interesting idea. But what I would probably do is try to get my headquarters like over here to this red spot and make a command post there. I don't know. I think given the number of turns that are left, I don't want to spend too much time, but I think that is a good move. We'll see. That was an awesome event. I am very happy with that one. So now let's hope we don't get brown. We do get brown, but it's not the brown reinforce. So I think this one might be, no, because M is, brown M is that stupid muster. Yes, it is. Oh. Okay, life just got a lot harder. Okay, double red, I don't see anybody. So it is a P. So if it's unoccupied, no action occurs. There's no double red anywhere on the board. Single green does mean that that guy up there would fire, but I don't think there's a green fire marker here. There is not. So nobody is in the green fire zone. So this guy doesn't do anything, but it is a reinforce. But remember the rule that all three of these are one location, and this guy is that location. So for the R action, it's a coastal R. He does get a depth marker. So that one does happen to him. If it's, oh no, that's occupied and units are in field of fire. There's nobody in his field of fire. So he gets a redeploy. He moves to a position hex within 3 that's closer to a US unit. And unfortunately there's nowhere for him to move because we're covering purple. There's nowhere for him to go. So he does nothing. He doesn't even get the depth marker. He only gets the depth marker if there was a US unit in his field of fire. And there's no US unit in his field of fire. That's actually pretty crazy that worked out for us. This one over here is just disrupted. So he loses his disruption marker. And then this one over here, something does happen. He's within 2 spaces. He's going to get, he's an inland space, so he's going to get reinforce. He's going to get a reserve unit and a depth marker, and then fire. So are we in the fire range? Yes, we are. So reserve, depth marker, and then he's going to fire, and he's firing at diamond. So we're a circle, so we're okay. He's not going to hit anybody, but he did become a presence known. And then this M is the one that's going to kill us. If it's unoccupied and within 2 hexes of a US unit, he gets reinforced. Basically, it's muster, it's called. I don't think there's any brown unit that's actually firing, but all kinds of nasty things. So first of all, we grab one and an inland, and look at this. They get one there, and then we go here. That artillery is destroyed, or no, we never occupied it. So we grab another one in a coastal to go there. And it said that it's all one group. So I'm going to assume that the same thing is going to happen. Actually, it happens on the lower numbered spot. So that's B3. So that's the one that gets it. Then we go here, and the lowest numbered spot is there. So we're going to grab another reserve and a coastal. And so we just got interrupted. I was originally thinking that all 3 of these get reinforced, but that's not true. The tunneled ones are considered to be one location. So they only get 1 action. And you always put it on the lowest number. So we did that. And we're done. So let's grab our next event. I apologize, I just keep thinking there's another brown out there somewhere, but there isn't. This one, the Japanese tank unit conducts a fire advance action. It's for the blue. The blue tank is gone, so nothing happens. Okay, so it's now our turn. Our headquarters finally has a range of 4. So that's good. And we do get 3 more engineering markers. And we already know that we were going to put some garrison out, but now we have a problem. Because the areas we wanted to put a garrison, like this one, is just got plopped in. That's why you want to get those garrisons out. Okay, but with a range of 4, 1, 2, 3, these are now getting free actions from the headquarters. So we do have 1 disrupted unit, but this one's not. And so it could attack there. And I think I'm going to use 1 action here to help him. That's my plan. I'm still thinking it through. Over here, we got all kinds of stuff. I would love to take out the tank. This tank requires artillery. And then 3 + 1 is 4. I need 8 strength. So this would be 9 strength. He needs an MG gun, which we would have. He needs a flamethrower, which we don't have. So the only one that has a flamethrower is him. Or him. Actually, he has it too. But I would need actions. Nope, I don't need actions. He has a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We now have free actions going all the way to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to move this engineer here. He has a flamethrower to take this out. This guy has the artillery to help take that out. So the tank will be taken out next time. So what do I want to do now? This would require an action, but let's look here. He needs a flamethrower and an MG as well. So that's why this guy is going to move in to help take care of that. And he has the flamethrower and the MG. And then we don't know what the depth marker says. And then we don't know what this depth marker says. They're all disrupted, which is good. We haven't spent any actions yet. We could spend 1 with him. And if we did, I could use this tank to support. And what he could do is, attacking this one doesn't make any sense because I need a flamethrower. But we could attack that one just to see if we can take something out. So tentatively, I'm going to put an action there, and I might take it back. Sorry about that. Then we have up here, but these are all free actions. The only thing I have to worry about is the garrisons. And I think I'm going to... I've already garrisoned everything I can. So this guy is alone, attacking here, and I think I'm going to instead attack this one. Because this guy is disrupted, so I'm going to attack the other guy. So let's attack him. He needs a Browning, and we got it. Pretty easy. And we also double him, so he's destroyed. So that's easy peasy. And then with a move, this tank can move 3 spaces. So I'm going to move... I think I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 and start trying to help this way. This guy can move. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and take... Because this is a double-double, meaning that whatever units go there are going to double. So I'm going to just take that spot, and then that allows me to put a... Actually, yeah. So I'm going to take that spot, and that allows me to put a garrison on that one. Unfortunately, I can't do a garrison there. So what I'm going to do instead is this tank couldn't have moved there, but he can move 1, 2, 3 like this. And then we can garrison this one, and now we don't have to worry about the Japanese sneaking in on us. This guy's done, so that's disrupted, and what we're doing is we're banking on the fact that we can attack him next turn. This is a free action to attack here, so we're going to do it. It's a 1, it requires close combat, but we at least double him so we can disrupt him. These units are considered coastal, so they're not going into the reserve, but we are at a spot now where we're going to start cutting off some communication to some of these Japanese units. Okay, so I still have one action left, and I'm gonna study more over here. This guy requires flanking, and I can not put a garrison there because as long as he's alive, he's providing fire everywhere. This one has become a problem, but the HQ is going to provide at least this tank to support. And so what I think I'm going to do is my last action will be to move this one in, which has me concerned because this guy is not disrupted. These two are going to lose their disruption, which is great, but we're not going to get to do an action. Did I really spend all 3 garrisons? 1, 2. Where did I spend the third one? Oh, I do have one more. So let me think about this, in fact. So remember, these 2 guys are disrupted. I could use this to remove a disruption marker, and then I could actually attack. The thing is he only has 2 bips. It's such a weak guy. So I'm not going to do it. I'll spend my third action moving this guy in, and this green is going to be a problem if we draw it. We still have one more of these markers. I'm going to attack with this guy and the tank on him. So let's reveal him. If he ever reveals. So he needs a flamethrower. The flamethrower can be provided by the hero. I think the tank even has flamethrower, doesn't he? No. So the hero is going to provide the flamethrower. Then we reveal this, and it's an artillery, and this tank provides the artillery. So we are able to destroy both of them. That's what the extended game allows us to do. So both are destroyed, and then this garrison marker is going in because we're not letting them have that back. That was nonsense. I mean, maybe they'll sneak in over here, but we're going to at least plug that hole. Okay, so this guy needs to be disrupted. So my engineer, or my artillery here, is going to attempt to do that. So let's do that. I needed a green, and I got it. I even had the symbol, too. So, so we just disrupted green, which is good. So now I'm not as concerned about drawing green next turn. And we come over to here. This is the final one, and I'm going to attack with both of these guys to this since he's disrupted. And so we reveal, and of course it's a close combat. So we can't do anything about it except just disrupt him, which is fine. And then all the disruption markers go away. And yes, we're going to have to do close combat again over there. Anywhere else I have a disruption marker goes away, and that's the end of the turn. We move to turn 23. These guys land. So we're going to go 1, 2, and I think I have to stop. Or no, 1, 2, I just get movement points. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 right over the garrison. Yes, it's a concentrated unit. Doesn't matter because this one's going to go 1, 2, 3 and be right next to the HQ. So they're all going to get free moves. And then this one will go 1, 2, 3 and at least get onto shore. But he's not going to get a free move. Nothing I could do can give him a free move. I guess if I put my headquarters here, I could have moved him 1, 2, 3 to there. Then this one, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's try that. So let's imagine that these 3 were here, and we did 1, 2, 3. Then these 2 were here. They would do 1, 2, 3. And then this guy being here would go 1, 2, 3. So it's still not going to work because these guys are going to take off. They get to move during the move phase. But that's fine. We'll just do that. It's event time. I need to shuffle. So I'm Good thing I shuffled. Look at that next card. I always have curiosity. So we have, including this turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns left. I am at an hour, so I'm just gonna see you in 2 seconds. Stay awesome.